Maximum security for Tabo Bester. Batohi leaves under a cloud but says, well, job well done. The World Cup trophy makes a stop at the Union buildings. Hello, I'm Zongile Nhlapo.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
There's nothing sinister about convicted killer and rapist Tabo Bester's prison transfer to the country's tightest security prison in the country. This says the Department of Correctional Services. Bester, now an inmate at a Bongweni super maximum prison in Kokstad, claims he was moved in the middle of the night and no one in his legal counsel was aware. Bester was being held at the Hoshi Mampuru C-Max facility since his rearrest in 2023. This after his brazen escape from the Mangaung private security prison, where he had been serving a life sentence. Bester joins alleged crime boss Vusumuzi Kat Matlala, who wants out of the very same prison, known for its very harsh conditions, including inmates locked in single cells for up to 23 hours a day.
Offender transfers are a routine practice guided by established security risk assessments to ensure the safety, security, and stability of correctional facilities and the broader criminal justice system. The offender will continue to receive appropriate care in line with the applicable legislative and policy prescripts and will retain full access to legal representation, family communication, and court processes.
Well, today was outgoing National Director of Public Prosecutions Shamila Batohi's last day in office, and she gave a final media briefing on the NPA's performance under her leadership. Appointed in 2019, Batohi's term has been marred by criticism over, among other things, the slow prosecution of corruption cases linked to state capture. More recently, she was under fire for her conduct at the Nkabinde inquiry, where she walked out during cross-examination in 2025, citing the need for legal advice. Her successor, Advocate Andy Motibi, assumes the role next week. Former Presidents Tabo Bester and Jacob Zuma have lost their bid to have Justice C.C. Khampepe recused as the chairperson of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Inquiry. Both Zuma and Bester wanted retired Justice Khampepe to recuse herself, citing a conflict of interest and possible bias arising from her previous roles at the TRC and the NPA. The commission was set up last year by President Cyril Ramaphosa to look into allegations of interference in the prosecution of TRC cases. At least 23 families are suing the state for millions of rands in damages over decades of delays in prosecuting apartheid-era crimes.
Retired Justice C.C. Khampepe has given 3 reasons for her decision to dismiss the recusal applications by former Presidents Tabo Bester and Jacob Zuma. She cited that they delayed unreasonably, failed to provide proper explanations for their delays, and that such delays demonstrate that their apprehension of bias is not reasonable. Khampepe has also dismissed arguments by Zuma that she made adverse findings against him in the Constitutional Court, which resulted in his arrest in 2021. Khampepe says there was also no explanation given by Mbeki for his delay in bringing a recusal application, saying it seems that if Zuma did not apply, Mbeki would not have been seeking her recusal. The retired justice says the time-bound nature of the commission's work dictates that it must continue uninterrupted. Eyewitness News.
The number of people who attempted to enter South Africa illegally over the festive season has declined. Earlier today, the BMA and the Department of Home Affairs delivered the festive season report. Of great concern, noted the BMA, is the rising number of unaccompanied and sometimes undocumented minors who were attempted to be smuggled out of the country, some as young as 3 years old.
During this 2025-2026 festive period, there has been a significant decline, as the Minister had said, in the number of individuals who attempted to enter South Africa illegally compared to the 58,394 that were intercepted in the 2024-2025 festive period. Now, this represents a decline of 46%, and this can be attributed to the deterrence.
The Hyundai Grand i10 has scored 0 stars for adult occupancy in crash tests conducted under the Safer Cars for Africa program. The tests, conducted at just 64 kilometers per hour, showed a risk of potentially fatal injuries for front seat occupants. Hyundai maintains, however, that the car complies with the country's legal requirements. Popular Toyota Corolla Cross has also come under fire after scoring 2 stars for adult occupants and 3 for children. Affordability does not justify lower safety standards. This is the argument of consumer journalist Wendy Nola.
Our safety levels in this country our regulations are so base, so like 1970 that it doesn't take much to be able to pass and sell the car legally in this country, whereas other countries, given that the technology around safety, the features have developed so much in the last few decades that even now, used to be premium models that got the electronic stability control that keeps you on the road when your wheels lose traction and that kind of thing, saving many, many lives in accidents. Those used to be premium features, and they're now entry-level cars should have them. But it's not legal for all cars to have it in this country, right? Unlike in the first world markets, if I can call them that.
If there are any South Africans who'd been eagerly looking forward to the local release of a documentary on Melania Trump, well, it's no longer happening. Local distributor Film Affinity has announced that it's pulling the plug on all screenings of the 104-minute docu on America's First Lady, which was released yesterday in the US. This, they say, is based on recent developments, which an independent TV critic believes is because of the current global political climate.
I think they fear the backlash after Trump and is so aggressive about Greenland and all of these things that's sort of been happening internationally, where the rest of the global sort of community is becoming sort of more off-putting against the United States, and they kind of see this movie also as one of those lightning rods that really draws criticism, and obviously it doesn't look nice, doesn't feel nice, doesn't reflect good on a place like Statkincourt or New Metro, because then they get this criticism.
The FIFA World Cup original trophy made a stop at the Union Buildings in Pretoria earlier today. After 16 long years, South Africa has now qualified again for the FIFA World Cup, set to be held next year in the US, Mexico and Canada. President Ramaphosa received the trophy, flanked by soccer stars and dignitaries from the football fraternity.
With 132 days to go until South Africa kick off their 2026 FIFA World Cup campaign against co-host Mexico, they got an opportunity to get up close and personal with the trophy itself. Selected players from the national team, including Captain Ronwen Williams alongside Ricardo Goss, were at the Union Buildings, where they were met by President Cyril Ramaphosa alongside Sports Minister Gayton McKenzie. And the message from the presidency was clear. In 6 months, they fully expect that trophy to be back on South African shores.
I want to applaud you and wish you well on your journey, and we are going to lend it out, but it's going to come back here.
And with other national teams performing on the international stage, Ronwen Williams says it's time Bafana Bafana add to the collection of trophies that are sitting in South Africa's sporting cabinet.
The rugby is doing amazing, the cricket is doing amazing, the athletes, the athletics, the running, every sporting code in South Africa is doing amazing. We went almost over 2 years, an unbeaten run. So it was a very good space for South African football. But the main thing was to qualify for the World Cup.
Tolagile Mganga, Eyewitness News.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Have a safe and happy weekend. Goodbye.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.